I chose my character presentation over the character of Rango through from the Rango film. Uh, this film is actually my favorite anime movie, um, and so let's get going. Um, so talking about the film in general, it is a animated western about a chameleon trying to find his place and identity in the world. After being lost in the Mojave Desert, he finds this old western town of dirt, and dirt is it's an old rundown town. It's going through drought. It has a major water problem, and the people of this town they're looking for a hero or someone to help lead them to finding what happened to their water. And so Rango sees this, and he makes up a fake identity, and he assumes this role. Uh, Things happen, and eventually he finds himself in certain situations that lead to him finding out who he really truly is, and he finds his place in the world, and that's basically the gist of the movie. Um, so at the beginning, Rango finds himself being like a blank canvas, not really knowing who he is. He starts out nameless, an empty book, a chameleon that can't seem to really blend in, even though chameleons are supposed to blend in. Um, you can find him talking to himself a lot, and one of the more common things he says is he asks himself, "Who am I? I could be anyone." So, and I think that ends up becoming a major theme in the movie. And so, looking at his personality and analyzing his personality, I think the best way to do this is through behaviorism. And behaviorism is when you analyze the way someone reacts to certain situations, whether they'll fight or they'll run away, uh, and etc. Uh, I think it's funny because I think Rango actually shows two different personalities in the movie. At the beginning, he was one person, and then at the end, he was someone completely different. And and I'll go through why I think that. And so at the beginning, he was a coward. He relied on luck to get him out of situations. He chose to run away a lot. He relied on others to take action. Um, he, when the opportunity to trick the townsfolk into thinking he was a famous gunslinger, he took it. Um, that showed that he was a liar and he was a fraud. And eventually, the townsfolk figured this out. They figured out he's a fraud, and he gets humiliated. He tried being something he was not. He had to learn the hard way, and just had to find out that instead of pretending to be something, he had to actually be that something. And the way he did that is there's this highway in the movie, and once you cross that highway, it's like a metaphor for cheating death or becoming a better version of yourself. And Rango does that. He finds himself at this highway, and he eventually crosses it. Where on the other side, he meets a character by the name of, or they refer him as the Spirit of the West. And the Spirit of the West basically tells Rango, you know, you're in control of your own story. Um, and Rango takes this to heart, and he realizes, you're right. I do need to take control of my own story. Um, and so that kind of gets me into the Rango's locus of control. At the beginning of the movie, Rango he kind of portrays a more external locus of control, which he just relies on other people a lot. He realizes opportunities just seem to come to him. He's very lucky, and but I think once he meets the Spirit of the West, and the Spirit of the West tells him, no man can walk out of his own story, and that's when Rango decides that he's in control of his own story. I think that's when he develops a more internal locus of control. Um, and once that happens, I think that's when he develops a higher self-efficacy. And what efficacy is if you have high efficacy, you believe in yourself. You believe in your abilities to accomplish a task. And I think at the beginning of the movie, Rango had a very low efficacy, and he didn't really believe in himself. He would get scared in conflict, or he'd get scared in conflicts and just run away. But I think once Rango had that revelation with the Spirit of the West, he finally believed that he could become that hero that the town needed. And that is how he later decided to take action and save the town. Um, and so once that opportunity for him to actually truly become that hero that he wanted to be, he took that opportunity. He ended up saving the town, and he becomes that hero that they needed. He showed bravery and intelligence, and he just wasn't the coward anymore that he used to be. And he just showed that he was a different kind of Rango. And so basically, to wrap this up, you can see that through Rango's actions and the way he handled certain situations at the beginning of the movie, it was completely different than how he would handle it at the end. At the beginning, he was a coward. He would run away from conflict and just rely on others a lot. At the end of the movie, you can see him. He made a plan to save the town. He showed a lot of bravery. He just took control of his own story, and he became that hero that the town needed. And I think that was just kind of how it was the best way to describe his personalities through behaviorism and how he reacted to certain situations. And so, thank you.